Sapporo is one of the cities people most want to visit in Japan. Travellers come from all over the country, and during the snow festival season, most people come from all over the world too. The city gets packed, hotel prices jump, and every famous food spot suddenly seems to have a line. And of course, when people come to Sapporo, they usually have a list. Ramen, sushi, soup curry, Jingisukan, maybe parfait at night. But if you do not plan a little, your trip can turn into a 1 hour waiting for breakfast, 2 hours waiting for lunch, and another hour waiting for dinner. That is not a food trip, that is a queue tour. So this episode is about how to enjoy Sapporo's popular food without losing half your trip standing outside, especially in winter. This is based on what we have found at the time of filming, so conditions may change. But the basic strategy is simple. Avoid peak times, use reservation systems when you can, and do not eat at the same time as everyone else. Most visitors enter Hokkaido through New Chitose Airport. It is the new gateway to Sapporo, but in winter, weather can affect flights. The winter cancellation rate is often said to be around 10%, and from personal experience, winter flights to Hokkaido can definitely come with surprises. Flights may be delayed, cancelled, or even turned back if landing becomes difficult. So if you are visiting during heavy winter weather, it is worth building some flexibility into your schedule. Do not plan your most important meal or hotel check-in too tightly after landing. If you want a more stable winter route, Asahikawa Airport is also worth considering. It is known for having fewer cancellations than many other airports in Hokkaido. If you are comfortable driving on winter roads, you can rent a car from Asahikawa and enjoy places like Bie and Furano in the snow. For skiing or snowboarding, the Asahikawa route can also work well. Kaimui Ski Links is nearby and can be a good option. From New Chitose to Sapporo, the JR Airport train is popular, but in winter, delays and suspensions can happen. The airport shuttle bus may be more stable, and reservations are usually possible from about 1 month before travel. In winter, simple travel choices matter. If you come to Hokkaido, it is natural to want a seafood breakfast. In Sapporo, the big tourist market areas are the Central Wholesale Market area and Nijo Market. They can be fun, but they are tourist markets. Locals do not usually go there for everyday meals. That does not mean that they are bad, but it does mean that you should go in with the right expectations. The easiest breakfast is probably your hotel buffet, but if you want to use breakfast as part of your food strategy, eating early can help you avoid the worst lunch crowds later. If you're going to the Central Wholesale Market area, Sushi no Uomasa is one option to consider. It is not as cheap as conveyor belt sushi, but the quality of the sushi is strong, and reservations may be possible. If you go very early, before 7, you might get lucky without too much waiting. One good plan is to eat sushi first thing in the morning, then walk around the market area for souvenirs. Around the market, you may also see a small motorized market vehicle called a Tare. It is not food, but it is a classic marked site, and yes, it can become a quick photo stop before moving on. For something different in the morning, here is Tokuichi. This is one of the most talked about ramen shops in Hokkaido right now, with a French-inspired approach to ramen. At the time of filming, arriving at about 30 minutes before the 9 o'clock opening seemed like a possible way to get into the first round. If you arrive right at opening time, you may already be looking at a much longer wait. This is a kind of bowl that feels worth knowing about, even on a national level, not just as a local Sapporo ramen option. In the Nijo market area, Ganin is another option. It opens early around 8, so arriving before opening may help, but the lines have become much harder to predict. When we first visited, it was fairly smooth. Recently, the lines can be big enough to make you lose motivation before breakfast. Still, the food is affordable and good, especially compared with some of the expensive seafood bowls in the same tourist area. If you do not want to be active early in the morning, be careful. Sapporo's lunch lines can be painful. Getting breakfast done early gives you space to visit places like Mount Moewa, Okuruyama Ski Jump Stadium, or Hitsuchikawa Observation Hill before lunch. There are not endless sightseeing spots in Sapporo, but those are some practical options. After a strong breakfast, you may not need lunch right at noon, and in Sapporo, that is a good thing. For popular restaurants, noon is the danger zone. Ramen and conveyor belt sushi are especially difficult because everyone aims for them at the same time. Our strategy is the time shift attack. If you really want a popular lunch spot, aim for around 2:30 in the afternoon when possible. Make sure you understand the reception or ticketing system, because some places may stop accepting customers if they run out of soup or ingredients. But if timing works, you can sometimes eat much more smoothly by avoiding the main wave. For classic Sapporo miso ramen, Saimi is one of the big names. Miso ramen is ramen with a miso-based soup, and Sapporo is especially famous for it. Among Sapporo miso ramen shops, many bowls are strong, garlicky, and punchy. Saimi is different. The flavor is more refined and balanced, which is why it remains one of our favorite miso ramen shops. If you want a heavy garlic punch, this may not be your style, but if you want a more elegant version of Sapporo miso ramen, this is a serious choice. One important point, even if online information says 11 o'clock opening, the shop may open earlier when it is crowded. From experience, it often starts around 10:45. Depending on the day, the line may be manageable, but nothing is guaranteed. After 2, may be smoother, though you need to watch out for soup selling out. Recently, conveyor belt sushi may be even harder to get than ramen in Sapporo. You will see posts saying Hokkaido conveyor belt sushi is amazing, and yes, it can be very good. But honestly, if you have eaten popular conveyor belt sushi around Japan, the difference is always not as huge as people expect. Good sushi has also become easier to find outside Japan than it used to be. The central Sapporo branches are the hardest. The good news is that many shops have reception systems, so you may not need to physically stand in line the whole time. But 2-hour waits are not unusual, so plan carefully. Nemuro Hanamaru is one of the most popular sushi chains in Sapporo. The Stella Place branch near Sapporo Station, the Kokuno Susukino branch, and the Miredo branch are all very popular. Stella Place is especially intense because it is directly connected to Sapporo Station and has become extremely famous. It can have 70 to 100 groups waiting. That is why we cannot easily recommend it as a simple meal stop. But if you really want to go, there is a strategy. Reception usually starts from around 10 at the shop. Take your ticket, register with line if available, then go sightseeing nearby. Odori Park, the Clock Tower, and the former Hokkaido government office area are all close enough to fill time. Check your place in line on your phone, then return when your turn is getting close. It can work, but personally, we do not think everyone needs to suffer that much just for the conveyor belt sushi. If you are not fixed on conveyor belt sushi, Shiki Hanamaru near Sapporo Station's north exit may be more practical. It is part of the Hanamaru chain, but it is not the conveyor belt style. It works more like a Japanese restaurant with sushi and robata-styled grilled dishes. Lunch reservations may be possible, which makes it much easier to build into a trip. We had not personally visited the branch this time, so it is not a full Meshitabi recommendation. Based on the reviews and the Hanamaru name, it looks like a useful option for travelers who want efficiency. Triton is another very popular Hokkaido conveyor belt sushi chain. The lines can continue from lunch into the evening, and same-day reception may close before 8 if it gets too busy. If you take a number at the shop, you may eventually get in after 1 or 2 hours. The problem is that some branches do not have much to do nearby while you wait. That is why the Hiragishi branch can be useful. Nearby you have Junren, one of the classic Sapporo miso ramen shops, and King Honten, a popular soup curry restaurant. Soup curry is a Sapporo-style curry served as a spice soup with vegetables and meat. So depending on your wait time, you could register at Triton, eat nearby, then come back later for sushi. This is not normal human behavior. This is Meshitabi behavior. But if you want to attack several Hokkaido foods in one area, Hiragishi can work. Soup curry is one of Sapporo's essential foods. The problem is that many central shops have long lines and no reservations, so they can swallow a lot of travel time. Kohi House is one of the older, more classic soup curry places. The style is simple, familiar, and reasonably priced. It is also easy to combine with Mount Moiwa sightseeing. One plan is to eat a late lunch here, then go up Mount Moiwa for sunset and the night view. You can also work after the night view, but the shop closes around 8, so timing may be tight. If you are in this area by streetcar, taking a taxi onward to N43 could also be a nice move. N43 is one of our favourite stylish spots in Sapporo. It is known as a place with a memorable night view, and it has even been referenced in Japanese pop music. Mount Moiwa has the famous view, but for a more personal memory, this kind of spot may stay with you more. It is a good option if you want something quieter and more atmospheric than a standard tourist route. If you do go up Mount Moiwa, dinner at the Jewels is another option. This is more of a quiet, reservation-style dinner than a queue strategy. French dinner with a night view is not about fighting lines. It is about booking ahead and doing the event properly. If you want one relaxed, slightly richer dining during the trip, this could be the night to do it. Next is Nanakamado, a shime parfait shop. Shime parfait means a closing parfait, a Sapporo nightlife habit where people finish the evening with a fancy parfait after dinner or drinks. The problem is that everyone has the same idea. Later at night, the lines can become very long. Nanakamado opens around 6 in the evening, and the waiting system may allow you to take a number instead of standing outside the whole time. You can check the waiting status on your phone, which makes it much easier. A good strategy is to register first, then use the waiting line for dinner or drinks nearby. Parfait Sato, another famous closing parfait shop, may also be easier around opening time. Just remember, these parfaits are not cheap. They're desserts, yes, but they can cost more than some meals. Recently, all-you-can-eat crab restaurants in Susukino seem to be popular. This is not really our usual Meshitabi style, so we had not tried it at all this time. But it did not seem to have the same kind of visible line as the ramen or sushi places, probably because reservations are available. At the time, the pricing looked around 6,600 yen for the basic plan, with extra options available. Honestly, we can imagine the kind of experience it might be, but if all-you-can-eat crab sounds interesting to you, check the details and reserve online. Pasa is a night-only conveyor-belt sushi shop in Susukino. We really like this place. It is affordable, the toppings are good, and the rice portions are not oversized like some conveyor-belt sushi shops. But the hurdle is high. Depending on the timing, you may get in with about an hour of waiting, but that wait can be outside. And in Hokkaido winter, outside at night means below freezing as normal. The sushi itself is reliable and the value is good. Just do not underestimate the wait. Around Susukino, ramen shops get very crowded at night. Shingen is probably one of the most extreme examples. The line is usually outside and it can be long. The flavour is more of a young person, powerful miso ramen style, so it doesn't appear in our videos as much as some other ramen shops. Shingen and Keiaki in central Susukino can both have big lines from morning or night depending on the day. If you want miso ramen but do not want to fight the battle, check out our other ramen videos. Shops we personally like, such as Junren or Kami Soup and Saimi on certain days may be easier in the evening. There are many Jingisukan shops in Sapporo, but based on our visits, Shirokuma is near the top. Jingisukan is Hokkaido-styled grilled lamb or mutton, usually cooked on a special dome-shaped grill. This is not the cheapest option, but it is a kind of Jingisukan you can not easily replace somewhere else. Our favourite way to use this place is almost as a second dinner. After 9, it may become easier to get in, so instead of ending the night with a parfait, you can do the reverse. Eat the parfait first, then finish with Jingisukan. It sounds backwards, but for travel, backwards can be the winning strategy. So, here are the Meshitabi rules for Sapporo food lines. First, famous shops are not always near the destination. Second, the time you want to eat is also the time everyone else wants to eat. Third, reservations matter. If you can reserve, reserve. If you cannot, shift your timing. And if everyone else is going right now, go later. That is the whole strategy. This episode is mostly for people traveling to Sapporo. If you live in Sapporo, you probably already know many of these problems and may be thinking, I just would not go there. Fair enough. But for visitors, the lines have become serious, especially for conveyor belt sushi. When you see a crowd that big, it is worth stopping for a moment and asking, is this really how I want to spend my trip? If the wait is too long, a regular counter sushi shop may be the better choice. There are plenty of good places and you may get better toppings without losing 2 hours. The goal is not to tell everyone to avoid famous shops, it is to help you enjoy Sapporo without spending most of the day waiting. Use this as a guide, not a rulebook. For sightseeing in central Sapporo, the Clock Tower and Otori Park are easy to pass through without making them a huge separate mission. If you want a bigger sightseeing stop, Mount Moiwa, Okurayama Ski Jump Stadium and Hitsujigaoka Observation Hill are common options. Hitsujigaoka can take more time than people expect, so plan carefully if your schedule is built around meals. Sapporo is a funny city. People ask what they should see, and sometimes the honest answer is the food may be the main event, and that is not a bad thing. If you have time, Okayama Ski Jump Stadium is worth considering. Seeing the jump hill up close makes you understand how wild ski jumping really is. From the city, the jump hill already looks steep. Up close, it becomes even more unbelievable. The last part is more of a local tangent than a food trip, but it fits Sapporo. Winter sports, mountains nearby, and the strange feeling that a normal city suddenly has an Olympic ski jump sitting above it. But for this food trip, the main lesson stays the same. Do not let the line control your day. Eat early, eat late, reserve when you can, and use waiting systems wisely. Sapporo has great food, but the best meal is the one you actually get to enjoy. See you on the next Meshitabi.